Hello, hello. Welcome to the Odyssey podcast with your girl Word. Forgive me, I muted my mic. Like I said, welcome to the Odyssey podcast with your girl Word Justice. I know it is a little past time and we are now in the next day, but I definitely wanted to drop in still because I still consider it to be Showdown Saturdays, y'all. And not for nothing, I know if you've been looking at my videos, for those of you who do go and view my videos, I appreciate it. And anybody new that will come upon my video and view it, I hope that you guys like the content. So, subscribe, hit the up like button and notification bell. Yes, I'm back with Showdown Saturdays, y'all, because you know it gets real. And as you can see, I've been posting about love and marriage Huntsville. So the new episode premiered tonight, and when I tell you, y'all, it is getting real. It is getting real. Um, from the beginning of season 4, I'm not gonna front. It was I was waiting for it just because it was so much that took place within season 3 with Martell and Melody with their drama and infidelities in their relationship, y'all. And we all can honestly speak from a woman's standpoint from what Melanie is going through. That, some of us have dealt with infidelities in our relationship or marriages or what have you. So, y'all know that it was like going in with the whole Melody and Martell situation and their divorce, and then him ending up having a child with his side chick that he was dealing with. So, that was even more crazier for her to find out about it the way that she did. And everything just hit social media. Like when I tell you on a blast, it was like a ultimate blast because they were like going back and forth on social media. So it even made it more for when you wanted to even wait around for the next season of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Let me tell you something, y'all. Melody and Martell, I don't know what people would say looking at it from their perception, but I only can give you my perception. Martell really needs to get his shit together and he needs to really figure out what it is that he wants to do. I feel like this season, Melody has really come out more and shown even more of a side to her that, I mean, it may come off a little arrogant and somewhat condescending depending on the people that she's dealing with. But for the most part, for me, knowing and watching and keeping up with just, their storyline from season 1, and now, like I said, we're in season 4. Melody always tried to maintain a open front, you know what I'm saying, to just keep herself, you know going, because I don't know what woman having children for a man and then investing that time of just, trying to build a marriage and trying to keep a happy home and just that ultimate picture I think that she had developed in her mind of that white picket fence and that beautiful house and the kids running around and both parents and all that. I think that was something that was set in her mind. And ultimately, her plan was to have that vision come to life. And she had the opportunity to where I feel like she thought that her and Martell was actually together seeking the same vision and they were going to be able to make that same vision come to life together. Unfortunately, Melody is young, she still has a whole lot of life ahead of her, as well as Martell, but I'm going to get on him on a minute. Um, she has a lot that she still has going for her, and she has used the platform um, to really build herself to where she needs to be. And sometimes, women pour themselves all into what they want after being disappointed and hurt a lot of times. Like when it becomes a repetitive behavior that you have dealt with, you kind of build a hard shell, and then you start to recognize, like, when am I going to do things that are going to satisfy me and make me happy? And I think Melody hit that point and that plateau of, like, you know what, I've tried to make you happy as long as we've been together, and I'm sure she has certain faults that may have contributed to things that happen in the relationship, but on a whole, she still fought in the sense of keeping it respectful and trying to maintain that home, that dream, and that vision that she has, and hoping that the vision that they both probably once had together still stood strong, and coming to a realization of growing apart, you know? And sometimes you don't even realize you grow apart. And sometimes it's not even about what a person could do for you, because sometimes you can't even do something for that other person. Sometimes the relationship with two people just end up growing apart, and it's, no more. And you come to a realization of, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. And it's a different type of feeling. And I do feel that's where Melody is at right now. Now, Martell, on the other hand, I feel like, granted, you can't hold something over a person's head that's already done. It was in his path. He's made the mistakes on multiple occasions, but I feel like he is a man that is lost in the sense of not knowing truly, what he wants, and perhaps not being honest with himself and trying to fulfill a vision that maybe really wasn't his vision on a whole. Um, and then realizing that he jumped into something such as marriage, and feeling like he can do it because of the experience that he experienced, or what he's seen growing up with his parents, his father really not playing a major part and his mother always playing a major part, him also wanting that dynamic and that picture perfect vision of a family. um was something he was striving for. But in the midst of it, I do believe that he lost himself. And I do believe that he has bad ways in which he needs to change. Um, I don't think a lot of times men realize, like, the world doesn't stay the same, like, the world shifts. And unfortunately, you may want to transgress into past timings to how your perception of how a woman should be, or how a woman should carry herself, when it's just like the world has shifted and you have to be able to shift with it. And I think Martell is like stuck and still trying to find his way. But let me tell you, they going through it, they going through it. He was doing a book signing for the kids or whatnot, because he did a kids book with the children, and it was Melody's weekend, y'all. And he told Melody 2 days before, and supposedly her uncle passed away, so she had to take the kids down where she was going, and it was her weekend anyway. So she ended up going to the book signing, and then he was sitting there feeling all types of way about that situation, because he done invited, all his peoples and all of that to come through also to the book signing. And it had other people that was, you know, dealing with the whole editing and all of that that was there. And it was hurtful, but in the same token, he has to understand that he did, put this situation on himself. But when I tell you, it was just like, But when Melody spoke to, well, I'm gonna get into the Whitlows, okay? Tiffany Whitlow. Yes, I'm gonna get into her. But it was so deep when I tell you that I think it hit him, the choices that he made, and that he no longer has control. Y'all, it was deep, 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 deep. Because it just, if you've ever been in a, like I said, a marriage or a relationship that it can be a common law marriage or just a relationship you've been in a long period and you just don't have that label on it, but it's a relationship you've been in and you fought for a vision, you fought for the love, and all these different things come in to like show you who a person really is. And it's almost like, damn, I would have thought I would have caught certain things way before. Child, I don't know. But Melody and Martell, it's a lot that I think that they're going to go through. And it's a lot that they still got to process because I know the wounds are fresh for both of them. Period. Now, y'all, Marcel is something else. Y'all know he put out that picture. That picture that he put out, he just put his brother on the spot because when Maurice did the reunion, Maurice said he was not there on that boys' trip. And so when Marcel dropped the photo, it proves that he was there. So obviously that brought up all types of controversy of him maybe talking about Maurice probably cheating on Kimmy and all this other shit. Okay, y'all, when I tell you it was crazy. However, Maurice and Marceau got a chance to talk, but he also had a guest come through, of course, which was Lewis Whitlow. Now, Lewis and Tiffany Whitlow, they are new to marriage, love and marriage Huntsville. They're a new married couple to love and marriage Huntsville. That's the best way I'm gonna say it. But I'm gonna get into them. So Lewis, you know, end up showing up to where Maurice and Marceau was, which is actually black, which is Marceau's bar lounge type situation. And of course, Marceau and Lewis had words because from when Lewis and Tiffany Whitlow came in, they came in with it almost felt like a contingency to show who they were and almost like judgment, like almost a past judgment. And it was kind of off with certain choices and certain times that they picked to discuss certain things, in my opinion. Um, but this is why Marceau and Lewis have like a little contingency where their relationship can form into a friendship, but I think certain things have been touched, which has bothered Marceau when it comes down to his marriage and people making statements on how they feel about his marriage or even the infidelity that they supposedly say have taken place in his marriage. And I say supposedly, let's say allegedly, all right? Let's fix that up. But Marceau pretty much broke it down in this episode 4 and told Lewis, like, listen, my business is my business, and my marriage is my marriage. And basically stay in your lane. Like, I don't need you to say nothing about my marriage or discuss nothing regarding me or my wife. And he put that out there on Front Street. And almost Lewis, I wouldn't say it was a bow down, but he took the grown route and saying, I hear what you're saying. I still stand firm on what I said and what I believe, but I do hear what you're saying. And I'll take in consideration of, leaving your situation with your marriage alone and probably not bring up nothing that would offend you regarding your marriage. Y'all know Maurice and Lewis also had a little situation going on because Tiffany, which is Lewis' wife, which they're the Whitlows, brought up that Maurice's son was vaping in the bathroom of the school. And when that was said, Kimmy had no clue about it. And Tiffany was asking Kimmy about it, and Kimmy was so confused. And she had to go back and ask her husband Maurice about it. And so he said what he had to say, but it almost felt like, okay, you put it out there for the purpose of what? Because my son is not a part of the show. And even if that's what you want to say, that that's what you heard and etc., that's fine. Hold on 1 minute. Give me 1 minute, guys. I'll be right with guys. I'm so sorry about that. Back to where I left off. So yeah, Maurice and Lewis had a situation going on, like I said, because he mentioned about his son vaping. Kimmy didn't know about it, and that opened a can of worms just for Maurice and Kimmy to feel some type of way towards Tiffany and Lewis the way they presented the situation. Um, it was very distasteful in my opinion, also. But they seem like they got through it in this, episode. Let's see what happens in episode 5 because it could look one way and things could be going smooth in one episode, and then when you hit the next episode, you be like, "Oh shit, I thought y'all was good last episode." However, what I did really like was the fact that Letitia and Kimmy got a chance to sit down and speak, which they really did need to sit down and speak because I know from the reunion, um, the line of questioning that Carlos King did, in asking Kimmy, would you still, outside of this, would you still be Kimmy's friend if you guys did not have a family relationship? And her saying no, I know that affected Letitia, but then I also understood where Kimmy was coming from. And a lot of times we misinterpret things and we take it offensively, but when you're able to understand the truth and the reality of what things are, you respect it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Puerto Rican. Hey, how are you doing? I'm up late night. doing this showdown Saturdays with Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'm so happy you showed up. Um, I'm sorry. I'm so happy you showed up, Puerto Rican 360. I'm sorry, Auntie. I'm so sorry. I'm so happy you showed up. But yeah, I just came on real quick to talk about Showdown Saturdays, which I do with Love and Marriage Huntsville. As you know, I'll be covering it. Um, but yeah, it's been getting real deep and it's in episode 4. So I just came on to give a little insight and do my little review. And when I tell you shit is starting to heat up. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, when you do come in and you look at the video, whoever may come in, take your time to listen to my content. I'm learning, I'm growing, as y'all know. But I want you guys to subscribe, hit the up like button, and notification bell. So every time I go live, you guys will know. But, Auntie, when I tell you this episode really, really got to a point where people were able to have a conversation and just bring certain things to the light that actually we don't realize that no matter what position you are in life, you do have situations that will come up in your relationship, you know? So it's still, you can have $1 billion and still have infidelity in your relationship. You can have $1 billion and still be unhappy with your partner and it be no infidelity, just being unhappy with your partner. Um, and you could have $1 million or $1 billion and still trying to search for love when n- not coming to the understanding of or realization that what's for you will be for you. Yes, please, Auntie, please check it out. When I tell you, you will definitely enjoy the show. Like I said, I've been actually covering it from season 1. A lot of the characters have actually grown. They are 3 African American couples that actually started the show, but it just gives you a dive into their relationships. They are all entrepreneurs and they all reside in Alabama, Huntsville. And a lot of them are in the real estate business and they have other business endeavors as far as opening up lounges and etc. But when I tell you it's gotten real because like I said, the stars in the beginning of season 1 it was Melody and Martell, and they were like the opening couple, and they looked like they had the picture perfect life. And then we're in episode 4 of season 4, and they're divorced and they're no longer together and they don't know how to co-parent. And then it's so much different levels of how you see a relationship with money. You know, she's well off, he's well off. They have children together. They are a young couple because she's like about 34 or 35. Um, but you see the dynamic of how they get catty. They get catty, you know, and you see how the true feeling of the expression of what a woman goes through when a man decides to step out of a marriage. You know, it's not even to say a relationship, it's a marriage that they have together with 4 children. And then on top of it, have the side chick pregnant while your wife is pregnant. So you the side chick and your wife has the baby damn near a couple of months apart. You know, it's like the respect level and choices you see despite the amount of money that, you know, these people may have is still the pain, the hurt, the fights, the disagreements, the misunderstanding, the narcissism. Because for me, with Melody and Martell, their relationship, like I said, it looked picture perfect. And then when it started to get deep in, you seeing everything just unfold. And they took a lot of their situation to social media. So a lot of times you wouldn't even see the episode, but you'll see Melody on her social media, on her Instagram, or Martell on his social media, on his Instagram, or even on other platforms like Funky Dineva or whatever. And they'll be airing out their situation. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it takes you into a level of understanding. It don't matter how much money you got, shit still can get real. Um, hurt is hurt, pain will always be there. If something affects you, it's going to affect you no matter what your status is or how whatever have you. Marcel and Tisha, y'all know how I feel about them. They are the next couple. Marcel, he lives in caveman timing, I shall say. He has grown, but it's something about him that makes me feel like he's a little sneaky. I don't know. His wife has also grown through the process, but like I said, it's something with him that makes him seem a little sneaky, and then he just doesn't give her that stability of safety in their relationship. But in this particular episode, of episode 4, it just was giving a highlight of how offensive he gets when his marriage is spoken about in a light of putting him in a bad space of him not being a good husband or the way he treats his wife. And so I think the way he came off to Lewis was him venting for all those moments that people had something to say or put things out there also regarding him being with Martelling, having a secret apartment and all this extra stuff, and them just, n- having infidelities out there with each other is just something that's has been circling the social media, and he hasn't really took the time out to really nurture Letitia's feelings and allow her to feel safe. I think for me, Letitia tries to put up a game face um to try to just fight through the feeling, but she doesn't really do a good job at it because you can definitely tell it affects her, and she's trying to hold on to her marriage because they've been married over 20 years and she really loves him and they've built a lot together. But I just feel like it's so many ways through the season he has explained to her that it has been a disconnect with them, and I feel like she still tries to find herself fighting for his attention and understanding and just his safety, like having him as a safety net. He is an awesome provider. Like he's an awesome provider, but you can be a provider and still not provide what your wife may need or still not provide what your husband may need. And a lot of times it's deeper than you providing financial gain. And I think that's where Tisha is. He's always about the money. Oh, I'm doing this to build this and do that. And she's looking for him to be there to talk to, him to be there to comfort her when things come up that bothers her and make sure that he secures her feelings. I think that she is going through a process that I I think a lot of us probably seen ourselves go through, you know, in relationships, through relationships in our lives. Um, but I'm just happy that overall in this episode, Letitia and Kimberly got a chance to have a conversation, which is Maurice's wife. And Marcel and Maurice are brothers. So Letitia and Kimberly are what you consider to be sister-in-laws. And they were having a bit of a rift coming down into season 3. But I think that Kimmy is trying to meet Letitia halfway, And I think Letitia feels like Kimmy should have a sense of loyalty to her, being that they have a family situation as being sister-in-laws. Um, but I respect Kimmy because she's true to herself and she's honest at all times. And I do respect the fact that, she needs Letitia to understand where she stands in certain areas in their relationship as sister in laws and as friends, and her having other friendships that Letitia may not agree with, but it doesn't necessarily mean that she's stabbing you in your back, but it means that she's not even entitled, but it's up to her, in other words, to make that decision to still choose to deal with people, but that should still not interfere with that relationship that Letitia and Kimmy has, because Kimmy chooses, to deal with certain people that Letitia may not get along with. But they got a chance to speak. Kimmy also opened up to Letitia certain things that went down in episode 2, where Melody had like a little sleepover, which she didn't invite Letitia. And it's another person that came in as a couple, but now she's a single person and she features on the show, and her name is Destiny. And, it was a lot of hoo ha going on with that. Needless to say, guys, when I tell you Love and Marriage Huntsville is heating up, it is heating up, guys. I am definitely going to keep you guys posted. For those of you that are going to hit the link and see the video and listen to me speak, you can listen to me for like 5 minutes, but hit that up like button and that notification bell. All right, y'all, and subscribe. All right. But go check it out yourself and see if you like it. And I would definitely hope that I will be having more people come into the building when I do go live so that we can actually get into the conversation. I will be coming back with other videos. Puerto Rican 360, aka Auntie, I appreciate you for coming in and viewing my video. I know it's late and everybody wants to go to bed. I mean, I want to go to bed too. All right, y'all. Thank you. This is the Odyssey Podcast with your girl, Word Justice. Please subscribe, hit that up like button and notification bell. So every time I go live, you will be notified. And I'll be back. Y'all already know I will definitely be back.